Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. Today I'm looking at a book which has come to us from Law Brief Publishing, and it's got a simple title, How to Be a Freelance Solicitor. Now you'd think that's a relatively straightforward statement, but what it has as a subhead is a practical guide to the SRA, that's the Solicitors Regulatory Authority, regulated freelance solicitor model. Been written by Paul Bennett, and I think this is a valuable document for anybody to have if they are thinking of a career as a solicitor, because there are all sorts of different types of solicitor. Of course, I'm a barrister, so I'm in a different part of the profession as an advocate, but there are lots of different types of solicitor these days, and so it's quite important to be aware of this particular concept, the freelance solicitor. The review title I've given for our book review is Excellent Career Advice for Aspiring Solicitors as Freelancers, and that's, I think, what you're getting here. Let's have a look. It's a very small book, very simple, paperback. There's the front of it. It's a little bit on the spine. Just make it out. A bit on the back, you see previous publications by Law Brief Publishing. Then at the back, there's no index, but you do have some of the previous publications by Law Brief Publishing, the other books. Then you've got some appendices, checklists at the back. Then at the front, you've got some blurb about Paul Bennett and his website. Then you've got the actual front page of the book. Then after that, you've got that name page. Then some blurb about the book. Then there is a nice little dedication which you can read. Can I just say that we only review books that we like and we think are very good for you, because we're trying to make life easier for everyone in knowing what's available. There's no point in reviewing a book which I don't like, because having written books, I don't find it very nice to have lots of criticism thrown at me, so it's best not to say it unless it's good. There's the preface, which is well worth reading, which sets out very clearly how to use the book. There's a little bit of blurb there about how to use the book. And then Paul has sort of written just some basic stuff about what he hopes you will get from the book. Then there are some acknowledgements, basically thanking Law Brief Publishing for doing the book. Then, of course, you've got the various parts. You've got part 1, which is Introduction and Business Planning Matters. Part 2 is the practical application of the SRA rules, and then part 3 is actually there are 4 checklists which effectively are the appendices right at the back. You can see those there. And as I say, the book only runs to 70 odd pages, something like that. It's a small book. You can read it at one sitting. I thought it was excellent, which is why I wanted to review it. So what do I say about the book then? I say this. What you've got here is Solicitor Paul Bennett gives us a most useful practical guide on what to do, offering some tools and some thoughts on the type of career path potential solicitors may travel down as they develop their own legal practice. The intention is to give a practical, hands-on approach to getting started as a freelance solicitor. It's not an academically driven textbook or a black letter law book. Readers will be delighted and relieved to hear. It's a simple, well-written book which is easy to read. So, who fits into the term freelance solicitor? The author gives us a definition that they are those truly practicing on their own without a law firm. And we feel that this excellent short book from Law Brief Publishing has arrived just at the right time, because solicitors have been given significant new freedoms under the Solicitors Regulatory Authority, that's the SRA, new rules, which came in November 2019, about how they may set up their own practice. I think that's quite important, because as soon as these rules came in, we then were faced with COVID-19 and the pandemic, the lockdown, and I'm recording this in the summer of 2020, when we are facing massive unemployment. And so this book may be of some help to people when they decide what their future may hold for them, because as a freelance solicitor, if you've got a following of some sort, it may well be the chosen path for you. Because, as I say, the main question to be posed post-COVID is, what are these opportunities now? So do read the preface, which sets out how to use the book, with Bennett setting out 3 useful questions which you need to think about. Is it the right model for you and your clients? What is the difference to being a sole practitioner? And how does this approach be seen as radically different to the consultant model, which some firms already use for the term freelance? Now, obviously, it's a slightly different approach, because I immediately thought of a freelance solicitor being effectively a consultant solicitor of some sort. But it's a bit more than that, because obviously there are freedoms given to people who are freelancers under the SRA. And the book, of course, covers both professional conduct and ethics, and that's where you will find it listed as a law book, because it's a practical guide which looks at these questions and addresses them and enables you to assess the impact of the new regime, and also to assess the freedoms which are now on offer. And as I've said, I think for 2020 onwards this will be helpful. And we did find that the title will be of great assistance both to potential freelance solicitors and law firms who are looking to understand how the freelance solicitor model works, because it's quite possible, and having seen it for myself both at the bar and with solicitors, there's a tremendous downturn with business, and there are going to be a large number of people possibly leaving the legal profession. And make no bones about this, it's quite possible. Now, you can read the book from cover to cover quite quickly. As I say, it's only just over 70-odd pages in length. There are 3 parts which you've got. That's the introduction and the business planning materials. And then there's the practical application of the SRA rules, and then there's a short conclusion with the checklists. The text actually allows you to focus on the professional elements that are important to you. That's why I think it's a very useful book as a practical guide, because it will give you both assistance and be relevant to your own pre-existing skills, which you will have developed obviously in training and qualifying. And obviously it also gives you the knowledge and an action plan which you can develop because of the bold step you're taking in becoming a freelancer. And be aware, I mean, I certainly am someone who's been employed, been in the army, been in the civil service, and run a business. And I've therefore also been a freelancer, which is what I am as a member of the independent bar. Because what you've got here is this, please be aware, warning. Paul Bennett concludes with these words: freedom is a wonderful thing, as any truly self-employed person will tell you when things are good. And it's a proper challenge at all other times. Sadly, as this book appears, of course, and I say that with some sadness, we are in challenging times, because the freelance model will bite the careless and the unwary, because it's about the management of a risk. You're taking a risk when you go freelance. I know that, I've done it. A lot of people sometimes wish they hadn't done it. That's one of the reasons why you may start off at the bar and then go into another direction, because it's not for everybody, and therefore you must know about managing the risks that you are taking by becoming a freelancer. And this book therefore focuses as a how-to book, which I think will be of great help to you and to your actual professional journey throughout your working life. So very good luck, and I'd like to thank Paul Bennett very much for this book, and of course to the people at Law Brief Publishing. The date of publication of the paperback edition is the 6th of December 2019, and I'm actually reviewing this in 2020. And as I say, the important point here is that, and the acknowledgements I think should be mentioned here, there has been assistance from the SRA, and of course both Tim and Gary at Law Brief Publishing have taken, I think, a very good step by producing this book, which, as I say, is not expensive, but I do think it's very helpful because of where we are today in 2020 and what the future holds, because we are looking at a very different, I think quite a different type of legal profession in the future. In the meantime, good luck, and once again, thank you to all. This has been a most useful book for me to look at and to review. Bye-bye.